Hey, Tom Rabbit! I hope you got this for your recording. Hey, YouTube out there. Tom Rabbit likes to record these. Hey, Tom Rabbit!
Darth, quick question.
Yes.
Are you a Thomist, a Scotist, or what are you?
Am I a what?
Are you a Thomist, a Scotist? Like your model of the Trinity that you follow? Do you follow like the Thomistic model, the Scotist model, perhaps
The
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 Palinist?
the model that I hold of the Trinity is one that is commensurate with 2,000 years of Christian theology. Okay, that there are three co-equal uh, distinctions within the one unified, one being essence of God. Okay, and that we identify those distinctions as persons. Three persons, one unified being.
Quick question. Are they unified via identity or predication?
They
Or
are they are
qualitative
they
identity?
they they are they are unified by being of one essence,
Yeah, yeah. But like, would
and
they be?
in an indivisible essence. Although there are distinctions within the essence.
Yeah. Like for example, yeah, yeah. Like Thomas, for example, they'd say the persons are identical to the essence. And there's an underlying reality. There's three underlying realities which are relationally
No,
distinct
I
from each
would
other.
no, I would say the essence is what comprises all three of them.
Individually, so they're not identical to the
No,
essence, or are they qualitatively
no,
identical to the
no,
essence?
no. Each of the
No.
persons possess attributes that only God can possess.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
First of all, when we start describing God, we need to be very careful that God cannot reveal to us exhaustively what he is. So he has to speak to us in an analogical fashion. He has to take certain things that we know that are analogical or analogies in order to communicate to us because we can't understand God exhaustively. So when we talk about God being three persons, one being, one essence, we're always speaking analogically. Okay? Now,
yeah.
when we study the New Testament, it becomes clear. It teaches there's one God, there's one being that is a spirit. Okay, it is an agent. It is a supreme being that is one thing of one essence. Right, that it possesses complete unity of being, but within that unity of being there is diversity, so that God both exemplifies both unity and diversity and equal ultimacy without it being a contradiction. And if anybody objects to that, then they're going to destroy their own world, because without there being unity and diversity, you're not going to have an intelligible world. And the world is intelligible because it reflects the unity and diversity that exists within the Godhead.
Yeah. So,
So one being, one essence. Okay? Just one essence. It's not that there are like three distinct essences that are glued together. No, there is one essence.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I
one
know it's
spirit.
universally accepted.
Yeah.
But I'll just like ignore that question for now. So I presume, I mean, at least you do accept that there are three realities, right, intrinsic to the essence, which are distinct from each other,
Three
correct?
three distinctions
Yeah,
that are
yeah, three
distinct
realities.
seats of intellect. Okay, where the distinct intellect is not the other two intellects,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
okay, that seat of intellect has identity that is distinct from the other two intellects, but they are eternally of one essence, one being. That's why when Muslims look so silly when they mischaracterize Christians as believing in three gods, and this was the blunder that Muhammad made in Surah 4 and 5.
Yeah, quick question. I mean, I honestly do have an issue with saying that they are identical to the one essence, since that this would be violating the transitive property, right? Since that you'd have three things identical to one thing, yet distinct from another, or distinct at the
Well,
same
what
time
we're
from each
what
other.
we're saying it no, what we're saying is that the unified being is of one essence. There's one identity there of unification. But there is a threefold distinction within the unified identity, where we have a distinction of persons that have their own identity within the one unified identity of God. So there's no violation of the property of the transitivity of identity. Okay, and the lines of reasoning that people use of the transitivity of identity it's a semantical error that they're using to attack the doctrine of the Trinity. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I first asked you.
If I said,
really...
well, if I say to you, Yahweh is God, or if I say to you, Jesus is God, okay, we can refer to God quantitatively, or we can speak of God qualitatively. So Jesus is not God in the sense that he is quantitatively all that God is, but he is qualitatively God in the sense that he possesses one or more attributes that only God can possess.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Regarding what you said about transitivity, the reason why I actually asked you whether you believe in identity or predication or something like qualitative identity was because of this very issue. I mean, I never really got like a straightforward answer. I mean, sure, you could say that they're unified, but in what sense? Via qualitative identity, predication, or identity. So you would essentially have those three
Are you
options.
saying does the unity itself, is a characteristic of a single identity?
Yeah, like for example,
Yes.
yeah, I know,
That
but
identity is God.
I know, but
God is a single unified being.
I know, but would you say that they're unified via identity or predication?
Unified by identity.
Okay, yeah, so transitivity essentially would still apply here.
No, because
And why is that?
when we're talking about the word God, as I said, I made a very careful distinction between speaking quantitatively versus qualitatively. So when it says in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, it's using the word God with a different nuance. Okay? When we say the word God, it doesn't always mean exactly the same thing. It has a range of meaning, as we use in language all the time. Words have a range of meaning. Okay? Sometimes the word God is referring quantitatively to all that God is. Other times it's referring to God qualitatively, where what we're invoking has one or more attributes that only the being of God can possess. So you need to be very careful about trying to use logic as a defeater to God. And here's why, okay? Whatever you're going to use as a defeater for a God concept will either itself have to be the ultimate and the absolute, or what you're using as a defeater derives from the ultimate and the absolute. Otherwise, you fail.
Um, yeah, so basically your point about the whole God quantitatively thing, I mean, in my opinion, it's just restating the position as you're showing a distinction, which is the whole issue here, and also,
Are you
oh,
attempting to use logic as a
yeah,
defeater for the Trinity? Okay, well, here's the
yeah, we,
problem. Well, here's the problem then.
hold
Now,
on. Can I show how that's not an issue though?
does logic is logic derivative?
Well, yeah, logic does apply to God, and I can show how
Okay,
that's
okay.
applies
No,
to
no,
God.
no, 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 no. Listen to me. Is God entirely self-contained and unconditionally non-derivative independent? And he doesn't.
He's independent, yeah, but like, how does
No,
that?
okay,
You don't
right.
believe
Okay,
that he's
that means
logical though?
right. So here's the problem. If you're going to use logic, okay, whatever rationale that you're going to use that you call logic, okay, logic itself is an abstraction. Okay? Now, if you're going to use that abstraction, then you're going to have to tell me what is that abstraction rooted in. So if I use logic to you, and you say to me, well, why should my reasoning conform to that logic? And I'll say, because whatever is true and correct derives from the mind and the eternal character of God and how he reveals it. So if you're going to use any reasoning that you call logic at all, I want to know what that reasoning is, what it ultimately derives from, or is the logic itself self-existent and
Well,
non-derivative?
logic itself is an axiom, and anyways, I've
No.
indirectly or directly.
Is logic derivative or not?
Derivative meaning like
Okay. Is God
a bit like contingent?
is God subject to anything whatsoever that is not himself?
No, he's independent. But wait, can I show how
Right.
logic is
So
applied
then,
to God though?
if you're going to use logic as a defeater for the Christian God, then I want to know is what is the source and basis of logic? What would that
Yeah,
be?
sure. So if
If it
you're gonna
is
apply
not the
logic to
Christian
God,
God, then what is the source and basis of logic?
yeah, logic itself is an axiom, and if you're gonna hold on, when applying this to
Okay,
God, indirectly or
you are
directly,
dodging my
I'm
question,
not
sir.
dodging your question.
Yeah, I do. What is the source of what makes logic logic? What is the
Itself,
basis of it?
logic is an axiom. Rejecting it is
Okay,
literally
good.
a
Well,
contradiction.
then you don't believe in God, sir.
No, I don't, and I'll show you how logic is literally applied to God. You
No,
have to
sir.
let me show you
You're
how.
not understanding. Okay, because what you are saying is that there is some realm, whether it be concrete or abstract objects, that exist with not a non-derivational and non-dependent status from the mind and eternal character of God. Does logic exist either
No, because
concretely or
logic itself doesn't
abstractly?
have its own extramental ontology.
Listen to
It does
me.
not have an
Listen to
actual
me.
ontology as
You're
if God has an
bickering with
ontology.
me now
Nor does it
because
have
you're
any
not
causal
letting me
power.
finish.
As
You're
you said, it's an
bickering.
abstraction.
You're
It's not a
bickering,
concrete
and
being.
you're about to be removed from the stage. This is what unbelievers and Muslims do all the time. When you get cornered, okay, when you get cornered by a question of analysis, then what you do is you go into bickering mode, which is what you are doing right now. Now,
I'm not.
logic, whatever you want to conceive logic is, either concretely or abstractly, is it something that is self-contained within itself and
Yes, it's
non-derivative of
necessary in
God?
the sense that it's modally in every
No,
single
sir,
possible world. Uh,
listen to me. Listen to me carefully. Good. Then you no longer believe in God. Because if
no,
there is something that,
that does
okay,
not follow.
listen, bicker with me one more time. Go ahead. Overtalk me one more time.
I mean, you overtalked me as I was
Okay,
literally explaining. What's
goodbye.
your
All
point?
right, goodbye.
What?
All right. You want to be like a little child? Okay, goodbye. Okay. You see, what he's doing is he wants to put out there that there is this absolute of logic, right? If you're going to use that as a defeater against the Christian God, I want to know, is that logic or reason, does it derive and depend upon something else that is absolute, or is it self-contained and self-existent, that it exists unto itself? And we all heard him right there. He basically was saying, without coming out and directly saying, that it existed unto itself.
Thank you, Tom Rabbit.